Travis Wayne Goodsell. So in 2020, Sam Penrod in Ammon, Idaho, was excommunicated. His daughter was fooled by psychologists into believing that she was not a female, and their son, I can't trust John DeLynn, but he calls it religious obsessive compulsive disorder. And so it's unclear as to whether it was because he was studying the scriptures a lot, or if it was because he was a Nazi extremist. There is no explanation for it, other than to suffer through trying to listen to him and his brainwashing techniques as a psychologist. But John DeLynn also did a video for Mormon Stories 1770. Where did Joseph get his ideas? Oh, dear God. I warn you guys about him. You don't listen to me. You get sucked into his brainwashing. He's a psychologist. He knows how to do it. He preys upon your weakness, having been excommunicated by the church, or leaving the church because of some trauma you experienced, whether studying your scriptures, which Mormons would say you were being obsessive compulsive and therefore left the church, or because of the abuse of Mormons, like what was done to Sam Penrod. And I don't understand. The church has been trying to murder me, literally hiring assassins, ordering people to murder me. And you don't seem to care, but Sam Penrod, ooh, wow, church is trying to murder him because of his daughter. Dear God. And so, yeah, John, Mike, whoever Mike is, they are not authorities on the church. Do you not understand this? When you think of an authority on the church, you don't look to a Mormon. You don't look to the leaders of the church, even though they're the ones who make the policy decisions. You look to those intellectuals who study, who research. They're the ones you want to pay attention to, and I'm the only one. Everybody else does one little topic, publish a book, and think they're the authority on the whole of Mormonism. Dear God. And so, who do they get to join them on a discussion of where did Joseph get his ideas? Those who have been following me know exactly where I'm leading to. They used Little Nemo. Little Nemo is from England. He's a little kid. He's heard some videos from critics about the church. And so he's being critical in his videos. His bestest friend got excommunicated from the church out in England. And so that's taken him further away from the church, rather than having him cave to the threats of the church to stay faithful and true. And so, listen to this BS. In a captivating episode as they unravel the intricate tapestry of influences that shaped the founder of Mormonism, Joseph Smith, from the unique doctrines of Mormonism to the enigmatic Book of Mormon. Oh my God, I just want to scream. This is what I've warned ExMormons about. You guys have been misinformed by fakes and the lies of the church. and are circulating these lies from fakes. Who wrote the Book of Mormon, Mormons? Joseph Smith did by the gift and power of God. No. Sidney Rigdon wrote the major portion of the Book of Mormon. That's an established, scientific-backed fact. They won't acknowledge this. Mr. Psycho John DeLinde will not acknowledge science. He's a psychologist. They don't deal with science. And so John cannot accept science to explain church history. And so he manipulates your feelings to turn them against Joseph and the Book of Mormon, which, by the way, is in the learning of the Jews. And so I'm the one who contributed through science-backed facts that Joseph Smith Sr. is the one who had to rewrite the 116 pages. Well, what did Junior do? He was distracting Martin Harris, who was going to pay for the book. But then he blew it. Had to be put in timeout for a whole year from losing the 116 pages that needed to be rewritten by Senior. These are facts that these kinds of ex-Mormons are just evil in refusing to recognize and acknowledge the scientific facts of the history of the church. And you guys get fooled into them. And so in Idaho, there's a new group that started 3 months ago on YouTube, Idaho ExMormons. I don't know if this is a result of Sam Penrod. I don't know if this is having to deal with Oaks or Ballard or whoever went up to Idaho in a panic to excommunicate somebody. I don't know if it was Sam Penrod or a whole ward or stake that needed to be taken down. I'm not too sure. I'd have to check my notes on that. But it's a group of what appears to be 4 people. Their first one was with 3 guys, and then they got smart on the second one and picked up little Idaho Spud. But they do an introductory episode. Their second one is Bridging the Gap. What gap? What bridge? What are you doing? Are they trying to reconcile with Mormons? You know, I'd have to listen to the introduction to find out what the hell happened in there. But I'm concerned about ex-Mormons who want to be loved by Mormons who betrayed them. Mormons are evil. That's why you left, remember? Don't listen to John, who's trying to get you to get over the abuse of Mormons. Mercy cannot rob justice. John DeLinde does not want to teach that to you. Mormons are abusive. They must receive justice. Don't excuse them for their evil. You need to point out to Mormons they're evil because the church taught them to be evil. Don't try to bridge gaps that the church and the Mormons don't want to bridge. You're getting played into their little game. Mormon cinema and the early 2000s Mormon film boom. Book of Mormon. Oh, that was the only video I ever walked out on. It was a packed house at the theater here in Utah. And here I am, offended As a Mormon, faithful and true, I walked out. Whoever did that was a dumbass. He did not know his Book of Mormon. His liberties were too extreme and were leading Mormons astray. Because now Mormons aren't going to read their Book of Mormon, they'll just watch the movie. And everybody knows the difference between a book and the movie about the book. And people get furious with the movie because it doesn't follow the book. It creates a whole new path. But yeah, there's also Mormonism and the mob and singles ward and all that other crap. Mormonism and socialism. Oh, dear God, I just want to scream. Let me take you back to the 1940s, right before World War II in Nazi Germany. Hitler was running on a campaign of socialism. It was a trap. He wanted to get popular to win. That was the only reason why he was running as a Socialist Party candidate. And so, after winning, yeah, he revealed his true identity, fascism. And here we see the Idaho Mormon group here getting suckered into the belief that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is socialist. Unaware of the trap that when they get their Zion back, they're going to be fascist. Just like they supported Hitler in Nazi Germany. Oh, you didn't know that about church history, did you? Moroni and the swastika. So, yeah, so annoyed. And there was a Mormon, ex-Mormon, in Missouri who had his channel, and he was trying to establish the fact, which isn't, that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was working with the deep state Dems to overthrow America. He just could not accept the facts of history that the church is Nazi. That if they are dealing with the Dems, it's to use them as suckers and losers to get their agenda passed. You know, like what the church just did recently to get the Respect for Marriage Act turned into the Disrespect for Marriage Act with their little exemption clause. And all the liberal press and LGBTQIAPO+ fell for it again. You know, the building bridges with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that the church keeps burning down, and LGBTQ+, IAPO+, keep thinking they can still build the bridge with the church. They still have a chance, because John DeLynn said so. Return missionaries and the Sunk Coast fallacy. What? So they're creating stuff. It may be tempting to watch, but I'm not going to fall for it. Nepotism and the prosperity gospel. It's not prosperity gospel, dear. But nepotism, yeah. Yeah, we all know nepotism in the church. If you're a relative, you become the leader in Utah. That's why Sam Pinrod, as a young family man, was elevated to bishop so quickly. Because of that. Because when you're on the outside, you rise up quick. But in Utah, you have to be a family member. I remember Hinckley in the conference where he elevated his own brother to a member of the 70. And he's trying to explain it away to the priesthood. But the prosperity gospel, Yeah, she got that from Thinker of Thoughts, who had done a version from John Oliver's episode on the prosperity gospel. And no, I mean, yes, the church does say that you'll be blessed by paying tithing, and we give you 10% of our wages, and we prosper. We'd prosper by not paying you and putting that money into savings to gain interest. And again, this is where the church deceives Mormons, because they say, hey, we take your tithing money and invest it in LLC corporations through the stock market and interest. And why can't you do that? Well, because we're not a religion that steals money from its members. The church just plays you for dumb. And so, yeah, the prosperity gospel is the victim blaming of the church. But the main thing is that the church is a criminal operation. Tithing is a criminal practice. The SEC, that was just part of the whole criminal operation. The whistleblower for tithing alone, because the church makes money on multiple other sources, they do the exact same thing with every source of income. That's what was revealed. And Nelson said, yeah, we confess we're a criminal operation. We're just following the parable of the talents that we twisted for our own purposes. And so here we have growing up Latino and Catholic in majority white Mormon. Okay, wait a minute. I guess they have a guest speaker in Mormon Eastern Idaho. And so, yeah, Mormons are not friendly, is what that's all about. See, when people move to Utah, even me, when I first moved to Utah, everybody was happy and welcoming and all nice and comfy cozy. Everything seemed all well in Zion. And then when they find out that I am a decipher of Paleo-Hebrew, all hell broke loose. Everybody started turning on me. All of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. I'm not following the family proclamation. All kinds of excuses to justify me as the bad guy. And so, yeah, the church had been going around sabotaging me, and Mormons were sabotaging me, and etc., etc. But nobody cares. They want to hear it from John Dehlin in order for it to be approved and authoritative. The Mormon Church's misuse of tithing and the SEC scandal. Yeah, well, I explained it more thoroughly than you did. Because apparently Mormons are unaware that the church makes other forms of money. Everybody just focuses on tithing. That's the big con. The church allowed you to know their investment with tithing because of the whistleblower. But he came out with a first presidency statement that says we do it with everything. Well, if they do it with everything, how much money are you making from these other sources of revenue? We assume tithing is the biggest. Growing up in an inactive father, with an inactive father, so no. It's no longer called inactive. It's less active. And see, he seems younger than I am. So that's kind of funny that he's using inactive rather than less active. Because his day, as a younger man, he would have heard the less active term. But his father, yeah, it was during the inactive time period. That's funny. ExMormons International. Missionaire in Deutschland. Deutschlander. I am not a tumor. I don't think he's Dutch. I think he's Swiss, isn't he? Switzerland? A Swiss ex-Mormon's experience leaving the LDS Church. It's not a tumor. Refrain from evil speaking of the Lord's anointed. And there's Nelson with his horns. That's funny. I wish I could find that. Let's check. See if we can find the picture. Refrain from evil speaking of the Lord's anointed. We'll see if we can get that picture. We're live! Getting porn pictures of Nelson. See, John Glenn's not doing an obsession about porn and the church. I am. Because it is awesome mockery. Because that's what Lucifer tells us to do, is to be ashamed. And the church is trying to tell us to be ashamed. Okay. Come on. Idaho ExMormon. Refrain from evil speaking of the Lord's anointed. Yikes. Give me 10. Oh, man, that Nelson is evil on that one. Dear God. From Reddit. That's scary. Give me 10% of all your income or you'll never see your... Oh, you stole that from me! You bastards! I just redid that video last night for you, too. Come on. And I don't believe they'd have that in the video itself. That's most likely just the thumbnail. I think I'm exclusive on the having the thumbnail from the video picture. Okay, and then Mormons dominate. Oh, Nelson, you're so great. Here's all our money. We'll support you with our substance. And it's not priestcraft. No. Well, that's a little girl praying. That's an excellent painting. See, I'm culturally savant. Even though she's not praying correctly. I guess she was taught wrong by her parents of the religion. But nonetheless, it's an excellent painting. And there's Jesus casting out Lucifer. Oh, Jesus. the man whom Roman Emperor Constantine defined as not real. And multi-billions of people have fallen for it ever since. There's Brigham Young in sunglasses and a stogie. We'll get it just for future reference. He did raise a tobacco farm for his brothels. You did know about that, didn't you? Didn't John Dehlin tell you about that? I did. Okay, yeah, I don't have it. Bummer. So we'll have to do that approach instead. Okay. And then Mormon missionaries and second foreign language teaching. You guys are ex-Mormons, right? See, that's a good thing that the church is doing, actually. And yeah, it could be improved upon. But, yeah, to be taught a foreign language helps Mormons with career options that would never have otherwise been given them. And then, what is interesting is that they finally caught on 2 weeks ago as to how to generate attention for their site. See, when they started, they had 412 views, then 172, then 72, then 111, 175, 263. So yeah, they're like me. 98, 107, 84, 61, 72, 46. What? Nelson, that's all you could generate is 46 views with your horns. And then 32. And so here we have the ex-Mormon, we'll use the Yellowstone term, the ex-Mormon bunny. There were barrel bunnies and buckle bunnies in Yellowstone. Hilarious. And so here they've gotten their token woman, their ex-Mormon bunny. And she's doing her coming out and leaving the LDS church. It's an hour and a half long. And so after the pattern of views that I just went over with you, 2K. And they go silent for 2 weeks. Guys, you're not capitalizing on the interest she just gave you. So clearly they need to use more of her. And she's even wearing a dark outfit, which is not flattering for camera. Allison Krogan, I guess she's got a new last name, or I don't know if she's still keeping her original last name, because she's now married and is having a baby in November. But she wore black last night. Allison. And the screen that they used to do the weather with her wearing black was dark. Oh my God. Who's in charge of production for that? Oh my God. Do they not have a wardrobe people? Do they not have... Oh my God. And so, yeah, all you see is Allison's face on the screen, bobbing around, pointing to the weather. Which you can't see because it's all dark. But at least she has a white background and something posted on the wall, some poster of some kind. But Yeah. See, I did my video, nobody cared. This is where your priorities are. That's blatantly obvious.